last little while, what has been, the real challenge that this team has had with Carolina, really?
I mean, I'm talking about today.
Right.
We're playing good. We're controlling the game, and then they break the ice and get the first one, and then I feel like they took over after that, and got a little bit more chances, and that's pretty much the game there.
Is it frustrating just the way you guys started in that first period? As you mentioned, you guys were really fully in control, and maybe that was the best period you guys have played against.
Yeah, we're doing it to ourselves, I feel like, and that's a tough way to lose when feel like we're doing the right things, and then small mistakes, and it's in the back of our net.
Is it just tough though that this is a team that you face and somehow the results are always the same? They seem to.
No, it's not the same. Different result every game. What was the last game?
Well, I'm
3-1.
Yeah.
Yeah. 4-0 today.
Yeah.
Right.
No, you got one.
We got one. Yeah, 4-1. So not the same.
When you look at the results, is it frustrating that it seems to be similar to the past against this team?
Yeah, I thought, especially in the beginning of the game, until they scored their first goal, I thought we played well. And then, I don't know why, we kind of changed our game after that, and that plays right into their cards. And, it can't happen, especially against a team like that. We know how they like to play, and, after we got scored on, we kind of played right into their cards.
It's easier said than done, but you really got to capitalize against that team, whether it's on a power play or get on them early.
Yeah, we'd like to take advantage of the power play earlier, especially create some momentum. I thought, kind of did the opposite on the power play. Couldn't really get the zone, and that drives them, that gives them momentum. So a lot of stuff we have to clean up. I liked our start, but then, like I said, it can't happen.
What did you sort of see in terms of the elements that you guys were doing that the game shifted? I know you said you can't really put your finger on it, but what was that change in the game process?
Yeah, maybe the thought of now we got to score, and we're kind of thinking now score a goal instead of focusing on the process, all the little things that will lead to a goal, and I think that's kind of what happened, and we gotta adjust that and really fix that.
How frustrating is that, knowing that the two performances you guys just had, you played with that process, you played with that patience, and then not to be able to reel that mentality in?
Yeah, it's. Today would have really needed 60 minutes of exactly the things that we've been doing well in the last two games before that. So it's frustrating, but now we gotta move on and really fix these things quick.
Is it equally frustrating, just the way that you guys have not really been able to pick up those points, particularly against metropolitan divisions, right?
Definitely, those are important points. But now it's we got to look at it and look at the tape, look at the things we did wrong, the things we did right, and then clean it up real quick, because we got a good stretch coming up here that we got to take advantage. We got to come out with points, but at the same time you got to focus on the process, and then you'll get the result.
We talk about that mentality now, going on the road and just trying to come together and find a way to be more successful.
Really important for this road trip we have here. The stretch before the Olympic break, we got to really start collecting some of these points, and it's still, it's tight, but every point matters. So can't have our focus too much on that. Like I said, the process is what will lead to that, but we got to figure out real quick and do it on the road.
Timo, we've talked so much about the process, right? Whether it's you or people in the media using that word, but what does that word mean to you guys when you're executing it?
Yeah, the details. It starts with the way you defend. I think that's the biggest thing. How you return into your defensive zone, the way you break out, and then leads up to puck management. I think we play our best when we can put sequences together. When we go on the forecheck, we outchange teams. We come out fresh, and we have fresh guys out there playing on the offense. And then no team likes to defend tired. So we got to have more of these shifts, especially in the second period. We didn't do that today. We did it in the beginning of the season. That was something we did really well, and we got to get back to that.
What does their PK do that makes it so difficult for you guys?
They pressure hard. They got a lot of guys with good sticks, and sometimes on the entry you just gotta go get it, put it in and then go get it, and they pressure all over the ice. So I think it's important to be able to make some plays, roll off some guys, and then you catch them running around. And we didn't compete hard enough to do that tonight.
Wondering how you saw it after a good start. I guess you don't get rewarded there, and it's a tight game, and you got to capitalize against that team, don't you?
Yeah, we got to make good on our chances. We didn't make them pay for the mistakes that they made, and they made us pay for the mistakes that we made. We made too many of them, especially in that second period. There's a sequence of events after our penalty kill, leading to the first goal and then to the second goal. You know how much we talk about second period play, and did it to ourselves there.
I'm just wondering, what do they do defensively that makes them so hard to maybe get inside of them or get some more offense against them?
They check very well. They got really good sticks. They skate well. They don't give you the time and space to get into spots, to get really sustained offense. But we ran alone on their goalie 6 times tonight. So, as much as there's not an abundance of offense or sustained offense or lots of shots, or we're in alone a bunch of times with some of our best people. Got to make it count. The game changes significantly if we get ahead of this one. But we let them hang around, and then we weren't disciplined and composed enough to just stay with it. A little stubborn in that second period, and paid for it.
You mentioned it a little bit there, but is it even more frustrating, maybe not the right word, to play the first period that you did and then sort of see that tide shift in the second period in the wrong way?
Yeah, and even the start to the second was fine. The first 10 minutes are we go into the penalty kill already at about the 10-minute mark of the second period. The shots are 17-6 or 16-6, something like that. So it wasn't that part. It's how we came out of the penalty kill. We had 1 or 2 decent shifts, but we just had some play with the puck that we didn't get through in the neutral zone. We used the phrase "get through" I don't know how many times every single day. We weren't able to get through, and a little stubborn with the puck, and turned around in our net.
One of the things that Timo said is, maybe the mentality for worse kind of shifted in that once they score, you're moving away from your process and more like, okay, we got to score. Like, do you sense that ever on the bench?
Well, that's what I'm talking about. This being a little stubborn, and not getting rewarded, and now instead of just kind of building our game and sticking with the process, some of the top people get the puck on their stick and they're kind of feeling it, and then all of a sudden, because they check so well, they stuff you. It goes the other way. And like I said, when we made mistakes, they made us pay. A lot of the mistakes that they made, they're not talking about them on the other side because we didn't finish the opportunity that came on the other end of it.
On a completely separate note, Lenny obviously was called up, took warm-up, and I know there was a situation with Pally, and Lamico obviously wasn't today. Is the intention to keep Lenny up here right now, or
yeah,
just
he'll come on the trip with
trip?
him. That was mainly the reason why he was coming here.
Okay.
The Palat situation, was unexpected, obviously, but Lenny got here, drove from Utica himself and got here just prior to the game. So today certainly was not the night, and certainly not the circumstances we've been talking about, trying to get him going. But he'll be on the trip, and we'll get him in at some point for sure.
Sheldon, how frustrating is it to the big picture kind of power play struggles against this team? I think it's 1 for 28 in the past 10 games.
It's. I hate the word frustrating, as it's like it's useless and a waste of time. But it's a good penalty kill, and obviously they've had our number. I think we got one in our last playoff game we were in there, that just as the penalty was expiring, that was a good example of how to score against them, but difficult to get through. And again, a little stubborn with some of our puck play on there as well. But yeah, it's frustrating, but we found a way to get one in and gave us life in the game, and we're kind of going. So power play did his job in that sense. Once again, we get one in. If we scored some of our other opportunities, such as the 2-on-1 that we have when it's the 2-1 game right after the power play goal, we score there. Like all of a sudden, you're talking about the fact the power play breaks through, gave us life, and that was the thing that got us going. So, you overanalyze everything when you don't capitalize on your opportunities and you make some mistakes like we did. But certainly, bigger picture, when you look at our struggles against them. It's a real thing. We got to find a way. But you look at how many times we have pucks on our stick, and we're unable to execute a play against them. So there's just some execution elements inside of it that it's not a scheme thing. It's execution.
It seemed like breakouts and zone entries were a bit of a struggle tonight too. How much is that impacting your process that you mentioned there?
Well, we're playing against the team in the league that's the hardest to do the things that you're talking about. But as I said, we got in behind their defense and in alone on their goaltender 6 times tonight. You're not talking to me about any of this stuff if we put this puck in, some of those pucks in the net.